Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. This time we have a 1 versus 1 unranked game between JudicatorOfGenocide and CyberneticPony. It's on a reasonably large moon map at this point, and the name of this was a ladder map. And how do I unhide Echo Bar? I haven't the foggiest clue, I'm afraid. 5 times 2? Whatever that means. Right, so we have CyberneticPony in orange up here towards the northwest, and we have JudicatorOfGenocide towards the southeast. Now, let's just zoom out and have a look at the metal site placement before we get too far in, because they will be pretty much doing standard builds considering this is a 1 versus 1. CyberneticPony has this huge amount right next to him, and reasonably good secondary or primary expansions here and here, whereas JudicatorOfGenocide is going to have to walk quite a way in order to get to any expansions, so that's going to put him on a little bit of a back foot, so he'll probably want to get out scouting early. Once he's done this bot factory up, he'll probably send scampers out scouting rather than wasting resources on an air factory, or at least that's what I would do, especially considering my the lack of metal in this region. Maybe get some fabricators out, send them to each of these corners here. But the main point of contention, once these players have scouted each other, will be this metal site here. We'll probably see most of the fighting going on between these few craters. Possibly a little bit of flanking round here once these metal sites are claimed, if they even are. But yeah, as I say, expansion will probably reach backwards and up to the North Pole from Cybernetic, and JudicatorOfGenocide will probably end up controlling this whole region here. So looking so far, JudicatorOfGenocide going more for fabricators, whereas Cybernetic is going for the scampers / doxes, still whichever you prefer to know them by. Using his commander to get up a second bot factory already, still not producing any fabricators, but instead getting the scouting with the scampers going the wrong way, unfortunately, so we won't find Judicators spawn quite so soon. Whereas Judicator getting more fabricators out, getting their econ up very fast indeed. Sending this fabricator off over here to get these metal sites here, and as soon as the scouting takes place, this is going to be our main fighting region, because of course he is going to want to get the largest places of metal as soon as possible, so this will be the likely region for that. I'm just going to hop in and go into free cam considering the proximity of these two spawns. You can see one from the other over the horizon. Let's just have a look at that. You can already see the expansion from one player to the other player's base. So Cybernetic going for a bit more energy storage this time, and a lot of mechs over here, so as I say, we'll see all of that claimed very soon indeed. Still getting fabricators out from the second bot factory, and scampers still from the first, I believe. No, that is a fabricator, so he's got his scouts going. He's now capitalising on the econ and having double factories. Over here we have continued metal side expansion from Judicator, going ever more encroaching towards CyberneticPony's base. It's going to be interesting to see at what point they actually see each other and have that eureka moment of, oh, our bases are actually really close. So second bot factory already from Judicator, this one going for spinners, or stingers as they're actually known now, because of course it is a large planet, so you can usually assume your opponent is going to have some air scouts going around, maybe some early bombing raids as well, but that's definitely there just in case, although Cybernetic isn't actually going for air at this point in the game, but instead is now building a vehicle factory, so we'll start to see some ants and or vehicle fabricators coming out very soon indeed. Now, before I continue going in this mode, let's just have a zoom out and see where scouts are, what they're doing, because it looks as though the scampers still just sort of pretty much everywhere on the planet right now and aren't actually finding the bases. But sooner or later, this one... Wow, that's a lot of fabricators building that metal. Look how fast that's going up. That's quite phenomenal. Got that little defense there with those two stingers. That's pretty good, although not really very much ground defense. But then again, with 5 fabricators, you can easily get up a laser defense tower very, very rapidly indeed. And over here we've got 4 fabricators versus 5 fabricators. Who's going to build the energy site first? And it is, of course, the 5 fabricators. That wasn't really a contest now, was it? So we've already seen Cybernetics start to expand to this site over here and get his second vehicle factory. Ants have started to be produced as well. Still no scouts actually seeing any bases, but here comes Judicator now. We've seen the bases. We've got stingers shooting at things already. We've got things probably about... He set a build queue and hasn't realised. That's fantastic. What? How dare you build metal in my base? That's my metal, sir, and you know it. And up goes the laser defense tower, and now these 2 players are going to create their forward lines right here. This is going to be no man's land. And now we have the sort of trench warfare, as I like to call it, where you're probably going to end up with towers, against pelters, maybe the odd commander rush, going over the top, as it were. And here it is, commander taking damage already from Judicator's laser tower, not doing enough damage because, well, it's one laser tower, and all of those fabricators down before the second one can go up. That trench was not established. The race to the sea there was a failure. That commander is going to sweep up that very nicely indeed. He will need to repair though, because he has lost about 25% of his health, if not bordering on 30 by now, and he's going to take out all of this metal expansion, or at least a fair portion of it, before Judicator can do much about it, who is now getting more bot factories, and a vehicle factory as well. So we'll start to see ants in retaliation, and probably a couple of scampers from here as well. And back here we've got scampers finding fabricators who are trying to expand, seeing that there and saying, no, I will not stand for this. But that scamper's just doing a little bit of annoying harass, just taking out damage, not doing any kills unfortunately, but doing damage nonetheless, so that might be important later in the game. But now we see Judicator's commander just moving up. We've got a scamper here now assisting Cybernetic while he tries to desperately take out this expansion. He really wants to retreat now because Judicator has got assistance with his commander, whereas Cybernetic has not. Cybernetic does, however, have these ant reinforcements, but Judicator will just tear through those as they are going single file. The commander won't really do much damage because Judicator is moving out the way, and Cybernetic is going to retreat. Judicator is going to pursue. Cybernetic almost down to 50% health. He really wants to get some healers going. He wants to leg it back to his base and not stand there just sitting doing nothing. At least get up a laser tower, sir. But no, instead he's going to walk back in. He's got no assistance right now. He really wants to get some healies going. And amazingly, that commander isn't killing that scamper. I think maybe the scamper is a little bit too small for the shot to actually hit. Or maybe the commander's actual targeting isn't particularly great. Look at this. Not quite hitting it. But now this commander is going to take the hit. They're about equal now, and the fabricating bots that are assisting and healing weren't doing all that much, considering the health went down to almost pretty much equal now. They're on a level footing. In fact, I'd give the advantage here to Cybernetic, which is rather interesting indeed. A lot of contention here between these mech sites. Pretty much all of that expansion gone down. 4 doxes or scampers coming in from Judicator. They are going to distract a little bit from Cybernetic, actually targeting the Judicator's commander, who is now on below half health, which is a little bit worrying. He wants to get back and repair as soon as possible and or establish defensive lines. But instead of sending those 2 ants out, he is going to pull them back and wait for Cybernetic to come onto the home turf. Getting a little bit of healing going. Not enough healing from Cybernetic, who is now falling behind on the health. The advantage goes back to Judicator, especially considering we are now inside Judicator's base. In effect, Cybernetic is now going to walk away. And or at least, maybe you could put up a factory there or something, be really cheeky and naughty. And there goes the laser turret. While the commander's being healed over here, this commander wants to get some healing. Have we got any fabricators coming in? Yes, we do. Storming the front with those fabricators. Let's just have a look around, seeing expansions from Cybernetic. We've got a few unbuilt buildings in the base, got a few idle fabricators, got more vehicle factories going around. We've got a lot more expansion, and back to the front lines. Judicator and Cybernetic. Judicator building a pelter, interestingly enough, but Cybernetic now pretty much healed to good enough cause with all of those fabricators. He's going to walk towards the commander now. Judicator really on a back foot in this position because there's so many fabricators healing Cybernetic. And Judicator just taking damage now from both laser and commander, plus more laser, and soon to be even more laser. And back here we've got Scampers and Ants not shooting at anything. But that's going to take out a lot of econ. The commander now just running around inside Judicator of Genocide's base. You've been pranked, good sir. Your factories are going down. Judicator is legging it. Maybe he wants to build some factories over here, but we've got a lot of factories just expanding gradually and rapidly. More expansion over here from Judicator. Look, this has just been left unscouted and unimpeded, as we've just got tons of metal there. But now this commander is just going to be dealing damage to all sorts of base buildings. They've got fabricators building turrets all around the base. Another overcharge. Factories falling left, right and centre. Econ buildings falling left, right and centre. And we zoom out and watch destruction reign as Judicator of Genocide flees into the distance. Except he hasn't fled into the distance. He's right here. Back down to ground level. We might have another commander brawl, but Cybernetic isn't doing anything with his commander. What is going on? We have got Ants shooting at Judicator though, but we now have equal, in effect, unit forces from both sides, because Judicator does have all of those factories expanded down into the distance on the right of the screen. He's just going to wander around taking down buildings, but then again, don't forget, it's not about killing your buildings, it's about killing your enemy commander. And right now, Judicator is getting off a little bit lightly. Just going to go over here, doing a bit more expansion, maybe claim a couple of metal sites while he's at it. That vehicle factory in the distance still not being produced, but this commander here from Cybernetic continually being repaired. That factory there going down before the Ant can get out. No, the Ant gets out just in time. Laser turrets going down. Let's zoom out a little bit so we can see possible expansions and reinforcements coming in. Judicator running away. What do we got over here? We've got attacking on Judicator's econ expansion from Cybernetic. Beautiful mix of Scampers and Ants. Gradually getting more and more Ants because we've got all of these vehicle factories that just sort of gradually creep in. But back now we have another commander brawl. Looks as though this might be it for Cybernetic, although Cybernetic isn't shooting at Judicator. What is this? He's got to watch his commander. He could have taken him out right there and then, but instead he's focusing on the Ants. Focus on that commander, Cybernetic. What are you doing, sir? Losing an overcharge. Just gradually losing his advantage here. Why is he not taking out that commander? I wonder whether he's trying to extend the playtime or what's going on. I'm really confused right now, because that's one overcharge right there, and that commander would be toast, but now we're pretty much back onto a level pegging, and I reckon Judicator's going to get that overcharge, and at which point it's going to really put Cybernetic in a dodgy position. Just a couple more seconds until the next overcharge. I'm just predicting that there it is, and you see now we're back onto equal health, and there's a final one from Cybernetic. Beautiful dual comm explosion. And it was a draw. Wow. But going on who exploded first, that would be a victory to Cybernetic. But the game recognised it as a draw because one commander died as a result of the other's explosion. So, yeah, there we have it. Close spawns equals commander brawl and wrestling match. Thanks again for watching. An interesting game. Rather fast-paced. Come back next time for some more Planetary Annihilation. Don't forget to like or leave a comment and or subscribe for more. And as ever, have a nice day.